What's going on YouTube? Spectrum here with a Yu-Gi-Oh video. I know I haven't done one of these in a while and I don't like really making these vids. Well, I do and I don't. Obviously I wouldn't be making it if I didn't like it, but you know, you won't see this kind of thing too often on my channel. Mainly because it's in real life stuff, and I know people who come to see Call of Duty, you want to see Call of Duty, not in real life stuff, even if it is related to gaming. So yeah, this is a budget Dark World deck. It's basically budget Dark World. I mean, the extra deck is somewhat expensive. I mean, if you look at certain cards in it, but I mean, they're not they're not necessary. The deck doesn't actually run any tuners, so you don't even need an extra deck. It was just because I could. And I like having an extra deck, it just feels right. Anyway, I'll get into the build and then talk about what happened today at Locals with it. So, yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, we've got 3 Grapha, 3 Snoww, 3 Broww, 2 Beiige, 2 Scarr, Sillva, Brron, Sangan. Remember, this is a budget build, so the majority of that is actually in the structure deck. In fact, all of that is in the structure deck. All of that. Spells, 3 gates, 2 Dark World dealings, 2 drag downs, 1 card destruction, 1 Allure, Foolish, Monster Reborn, MST, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole. Traps, we've got triple Skill Drain, triple Reckless Greed, Trap Dustshoot, and, well, yeah, that's Mind Shoot, basically. Extra deck I'll go over in a minute, but I wanted to talk about the main deck first because that was the real issue of the day. I scrubbed terribly at Locals today, which is really bad because, I mean, it's Locals and, you know, considering the competition today, I really shouldn't have scrubbed. But, you know, fair enough, there's a lot of good potential in the future Yu-Gi-Oh players, so, you know, who am I to argue? And, yeah, whatever. Another duel, another day, you know how it goes, but basically, I'm going to go over a few things. The one thing I learned, Grapha and Snoww are the key cards of the deck. Grapha is the main thing you want to be getting into. You want to spam this guy so much. I know it's kind of obvious, but so many times you're like, should I discard Grapha, or should I discard Snoww, get some searching? No, you want to spam this guy. He's just the spam card. And, I mean, it didn't take me all day to work it out. It took me all day to get it into practice. And unfortunately, it was only my last duel that I really just decided, oh, just screw it, go for Grapha spam. And unfortunately, the budget build that I have in front of you is not designed for Grapha spam. It's designed for just being able to run Dark World cheaply, which is unfortunate. I mean, it could change when Order of Chaos comes out, but I'll go over that in a minute. In terms of the Dark World lineup, you definitely want this kind of lineup here. You definitely want the triple Broww. Beiige I'm a bit iffy on. He seems to me just to be like the generic Dark World that you can discard, and it has a different, you know, it has a decent effect. It doesn't mine issue in any way. Double Scarr, I was running that because it is a cheap version. I don't have any Fabled Ravens or Tour Guides, so it was a deck thinner. Really dead most of the time though. It doesn't have an effect when you discard it, which makes it really bad. Not really bad, I mean it's still decent, but it's so slow. For me, all it was a target for Allure, which I'll also be going over. So, Scarr wasn't that great. Sillva, not too bad actually, put in some work today. Brron, he's not good enough to run at more than 1, but at more than 1 he's not that great, so, yeah. And Sangan barely does anything in this build, because the only things that are under 15 are Broww and Scarr. So, you search out Broww, and that's basically it. So, that's that. What I heavily would suggest, if you can afford it, do not run any of these guys. Run either, you want to run triple Raven instead of these guys. The 4th card I guess in that lineup is up to you, but what you really want to be doing is, along with, we might want to keep Sillva actually because you can synchro with it, but Fabled Raven definitely, because you just need the discard outlets. You need to get Grapha or Snoww and a discard outlet. You need to get this going. So that's what I'd recommend. And then Sangan's a lot better because it searches out Raven. And it makes the deck a lot smoother. Plus, Raven is another fiend, so it's perfectly viable with gates. so you want to be doing that. Just these guys are just, I mean, Sillva's alright, but Scarr's not great, Brron's not great, Sangan's not great, great without, you know, Ravens, so I'd highly recommend trying to get some Ravens. I think they're in Hidden Arsenal 1, maybe 2, I think it's Hidden Arsenal 1, so if you find any Hidden Arsenal 1s you buy around, try and get it from trades and stuff, you know, it's your method of cheapness, I guess, whatever works for you. But try and get some Fabled Ravens if you can, that's my #1 tip. So, moving on to the spells, Triple Gates is fine, that's basically, you know, key. These guys here, I love having these guys as discard outlets, it's just, you know, double dealings, you choose what you discard, whereas drag downs, you look at their hand, which is so good, just because you can choose what they discard, so you're both unwillingly discarding a card, but there was times I was just like, I'd have double Broww, Beiige, and Snoww in my hand, drop this, and just go, do you want to choose a decent card? And they'd be like, whatever you whatever I discard, you're going to drop Grapha next, and I was like, yeah, I am. So, really didn't matter. So good. So, I'm not sure, I don't think this needs to be changed anyway. What I might do is get Triple Raven, drop Sillva as well, and then go for 3 drag downs, because you just need the discard outlets. I was not drawing discard outlets all day. You need them in your deck, which is why you run card destruction. The card is so vital. Sorry guys, it's a bit late, my voice is going slowly. Card destruction, I know in the mirror match it sucks, but like I opened up with Grapha, Snoww, Broww, and then something from my spell trap card lineup. If I'd drawn into that, it would have been game right there. So it's so good, especially with Reckless Greed, which I'll get to in a bit. Allure of Darkness, do not run this card. Some people might like it. It adds consistency, yes, but I do not like it. Every time I draw this, and just like one of these, and then you have to choose which one. You do I normal summon Snoww, or do I keep Grapha for its effect? It's like it actually annoyed me, so I don't recommend playing it. I might actually take this out for the 3rd drag down, but I also want to take this out for some terraformings, because you need to get to gates, you need to get your discard outlets, and I'm like, well, why not play terraforming? It seems pretty basic to me, so I'm actually going to have a fiddle around in this deck, see what I can bodge around. Foolish Burial is just great, it gets your gates going, so it's fine. The rest of it is all pretty basic. Triple Skill Drain, did not like this. I'd actually side 2 and just leave the 3rd one out. It doesn't need to be in there, especially with Fabled Raven, because, well, it just doesn't. The reason being is that it's okay if you're playing like full-on like meta decks when you've got things like Agents and, I don't know, Rescue Rabbit. Minor voice crack there. You know, things like Rescue Rabbit and all that. It's like it's amazing, but you don't always face up with that, and that card is so dead against just like the random decks you're gonna come across. Like I was coming across X-Sabers, Machina, I don't know, Dragons, which just spam Red Eyes, like, but they just get 5-headed out, and you're like, oh great, you know, 5,000 beta on the field, hurrah! How am I supposed to stop that without any back row protection? So I would definitely take all 3 out and replace them with things like Bottomlesses or D Prisons. It just seems better. I might replace it with 2 Bottomless and a D Prison. Triple Reckless Greed, still like this. What's weird is that people, at my locals at least, were not heavy storming. They weren't Mirror Force. They weren't doing anything, MST I mean to say, they weren't doing anything to get rid of these back row. And it was really annoying me, because I think the only time these went off successfully today is someone went Geysaris. And I drew with, you know, with them. But no one was heavy storming. I think, like, because you commit so much to the back row with these guys, this doesn't get, and with Gate, they're just afraid of Starlight Road, which I don't get, because it's like, it's only a Stardust, it's easy to deal with. So I quite like these, so they did work out pretty well for me. And then the extra deck is perfectly fine. I did have a Scrap Dragon in here as well. Trishula, Stardust, yeah, that's a troll card, it's just in there because I can. Black Crow's Brynak, yeah, you know what all this is. 2 Utopia because I can. yeah, it's just all because I can stuff, because I can. You don't need to run any of this. Once you get Fabled Raven, you go, you put in here, Fabled Raven over, like, Blackwing, you know, you put in, if you're in America, you put in Dark Highlander, if you're over here, you put in, I don't know, Trance Archfiend, stuff like that, that you can go into with Raven. Side deck, it's kind of specifically for my locals, you know, certain things didn't go to plan. I'll put it, no, just saying, these guys debunked, so good. I told everyone and no one believed me, and they're really good. Chain Disappearance just made sense to me. Not Chain Disappearance, Chain Whirlwind, sorry, it's been a long day. This card put in work against Sabres. It was just like, your Dark Soul's not even going to go from the field to the graveyard, it's just going to go from your hand to the graveyard. Hope you saw what that was. Probably guessed by now anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the deck. I'm not going to be running it for a while until I can get my Fabled Ravens. I've tested it out. I've done efficient testing. I'm going to be running my agents for a bit, because this deck is actually finished and I need to test it now, so that's what I'll be running for a bit. Not that I play consistently enough anyway, but you know, those are just some tips, things I've discovered, so you can copy this deck as much as you want. You've just got to be aware that there are consistency problems with it. Just keep that in mind, and hopefully you do somewhat well with it. So like and favourite the video if you enjoyed it, and peace.